This is the iPhone 16. I've been using it for about 2 weeks now, and honestly, it's better than you think. Hey everyone, it's Andrew, and welcome back to the channel. Fun fact, I have not owned the regular iPhone since the iPhone 11. Maybe there's just something about the dual camera system being stacked like it is. In fact, the iPhone 11 Pro was my first Pro iPhone, and since then I had never really looked back. But for some reason this year, I was really interested to try out the iPhone 16. Don't get me wrong, there are definitely a few trade-offs to switching from a Pro iPhone. But I think there's something really special about this year's iPhone 16. So I switched my eSIM over to my iPhone 16 about 2 weeks ago, and I've been using this as my main phone. And I really like it. Comparing it to last year's model to the iPhone 15, you get an action button now, which is somewhat useful in my opinion. You get the beautiful dual stack camera system that in my opinion is the best looking camera setup we've had since the iPhone 10. Much better looking than the Pro. You also get camera capture, which I'll be honest, I haven't really used it since I tested it out like the first day that I got this phone. I said this in my iPhone 16 Pro Max review, but I feel like it solves a problem that I don't really have. It might be one of the most pointless design additions that I've ever seen Apple do. And maybe it's just me, maybe I just don't get it. It's just quirky and not very easy to use. Anyways, not even joking though, the colors are actually pretty sick this year. Apple finally has vibrant colors again, and it kind of matters. I went with the teal option. Originally, I had pre-ordered ultramarine, but seeing it in store, it was just a little bit too purpley for me. And the teal, man, it might be one of the best colors Apple has ever come out with. But yeah, the glass back, the aluminum frame, the 6.1 inch display, the size and weight, it just feels perfect. I've been using the Pro Max for the last 2 years now. That thing's big, and this in hand just feels right. It looks sick, and it's my favorite looking iPhone since the iPhone 10 or the 10R. It's just aesthetically perfect. I also unfortunately dropped my iPhone pretty hard on my hardwood floors, so an accidental drop test, I legitimately thought I shattered my screen. And honestly, it was just a mere flesh wound. Nothing major. The new generation of ceramic shield is holding up pretty good. Alright, now the big topic. The 60Hz refresh rate screen. We have to talk about it. So after 2 weeks, my honest thoughts, I don't think it's a big deal. Sure, Apple could easily put in 120 Hz refresh rate or ProMotion as they like to call it, and I get that. I'm not saying they shouldn't do it, but the overblown hype that 60 Hz on iPhone is just terrible or almost unusable, it's just not true. I guarantee you, if you're saying that, you haven't used the 16. And the only time I noticed that it was a little bit slow or laggy was when I was using Instagram. Other than that, I did not notice it. And again, I've been using a ProMotion display since the iPhone 13. So that's 4 versions of iPhone that I've used ProMotion. One thing that I do think it's really lacking though is an always-on display that I have found very useful since the iPhone 14 Pro. I do miss it. I like to quickly glance when I'm either in the shower or at my desk. I just need to look at the time really quick. I found myself really missing that feature. So hopefully next year we see 120 Hz and we see an always-on display. It's about time, just do it. We need that. But I feel like there's a little bit of gaslighting in the tech community with 60 Hz on iPhone. It's not that bad as you think. On the plus side, battery life is impressive. Over the last 10 days or so, I've averaged about 6 hours of screen on time and 2 hours of screen off time. I mean, that's pretty good. This iPhone's also on iOS 18.1 beta, so I'm sure things could improve if I'm on a more stable version of iOS. So I think if you're using like the iPhone 11, 12, or 13, battery is going to be a good bump for you. And speaking of battery, let's talk about today's sponsor, Kushu. This is the Kushu X40Q 3-in-1 wireless charging station, and it's been my go-to for charging my iPhone 16 overnight. The aluminum design is durable, sleek, and matches the aesthetic of my iPhone. Plus, it folds into a compact square, making it perfect for travel. It's MagSafe compatible and supports Qi 2 wireless charging, with charging at 15 watts for the iPhone and 5 watts for Apple Watch and AirPods. So if you're heavy into the Apple ecosystem like I am, you might want to check this out. The link will be provided to you in the comment section below and in the video's description. Thanks Kushu, I love you guys. I love all the products that you guys make. Thanks for sponsoring today's video. I really appreciate it. All right, now let's dive into performance. The A18 chip is performing as expected. If you're like a normal user, it's gonna be perfect. I have noticed though a little bit of occasional overheating. That might be due to the fact that I am running beta. So we'll have to see what it's like with just regular iOS 18.1 when it comes out. But for day-to-day use, apps like YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, they all run really smooth. And Apple Intelligence is kind of the reason why we have the A18 chip on this device. Overall, it's been a really weird rollout with Apple Intelligence. It is coming on October 28th, so you can expect it soon. And I'd imagine if you get this iPhone, probably by the time you're watching this within the next couple weeks, you'll already have Apple Intelligence. I don't want to talk too much about it because it's actually not out yet, but you'll get enhanced writing tools, new photo editing features, a fresh new Siri animation, just a couple other things. It's not fully going to roll out on October 28th. There's a lot more coming within the next year, I would say, but I think it's going to end up being worth the wait. But if you're not ready to jump onto the Apple Intelligence train and you're not really expecting that, I don't think right now it's a big enough upgrade to cause people to just get this phone for Apple Intelligence. All right, let's talk about camera and video. And I gotta say, this year it feels like the iPhone 16 feels more pro than ever. So you get the 48 megapixel Fusion camera along with an ultra wide lens that delivers fantastic photos and videos. I'm gonna be playing some photos in the background just of some of my best shots over the last couple weeks. You also get 1x and 2x optical zoom. That's really nice to play around with. I do have to say though, I miss 5x optical zoom on the iPhone 16 Pro Max. It's just way better. If I try to 5x on this device, it doesn't look good at all. Even worse with going all the way up to 10x, it's just not good. For me, video recording is always a great experience on iPhone. For my iPhone 16 Pro Max review, I filmed all of the B-roll using this iPhone. So if you want to check that video out as well, just to see how good the video recording is, I suggest you do that. But it's amazing, and I feel like most people, they just want a really good point and shoot camera, and this is going to deliver that experience. The iPhone 16 also supports Spatial Capture for 3D photos and videos, so you can view it on an Apple Vision Pro if you end up getting one within the next few years. Also, when you record a video and you go to edit that video within the camera app, there's a new feature called Audio Mix where you can adjust the audio sound to 4 different types of options. So you have standard, in-frame, studio, and cinematic. And really quick, we'll demo out each one of those so you can hear what it sounds like. 60 Hertz refresh rate is not that bad. 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 A few other features that I want to mention really quickly. Photographic styles is really cool. There's a lot more flexibility you can do within the Photos app. Haptics do feel a little bit softer. iOS 18 is fantastic. I love this upgrade. Just have to say it. If you like this wallpaper, it's from my new wallpaper pack. It'll be in the video's description. Speakers are solid, but not mind-blowing. And unfortunately, the base storage is 128 gigabytes instead of 256, which I think is a little bit of a letdown. On the bright side, if you do upgrade from something like the iPhone 13, you do get new features like messages via satellite and roadside assistance via satellite, which could come in handy in an emergency situation. So should you buy the iPhone 16? At a starting price of $799, you are actually getting a pretty good pro level experience for a fraction of the cost. minus the display. So refresh rate, if that's important for you, always go with the Pro. If you're on the 11, 12, or 13, I think this is a substantial upgrade for you. And you also might get a solid trade-in value and a good carrier deal and not end up having to pay as much as the starting price. If you have the iPhone 16, let us know your experience with it in the comments below. We'd love to hear it. As always, guys, thanks for watching. God bless, and I will see you on the next video.